It's got Tru Chronicles, it's got Tru Chronicles. Yeah, we on your talking shit, we on your talking facts, we on your talking truth, we on telling no lies, we speaking all this guys. On that Tru Talk, on that Tru Talk, the Tru Chronicles, the Tru Chronicles. It's talking shit, it's talking shit, it's talking shit,
Hey, how you doing? Hope your day has been going good. Hope all is well. Hope you've been taking care of yourself. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Tru Chronicles. I'm your host, Dre the Truth. Thank you for tuning in to episode 9. We are here. I know it's been a minute and since episode 8, and we're back. And episode 9, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. If you made it this far with the podcast, thank you so much for just being here. And as always, any new listeners tuning in, I appreciate you for stopping by and coming across this podcast, where this is a podcast for you. This is a podcast for transparency, authenticity. Disclaimer being, this is a judge-free zone, and we pretty much get real here, and there is no holdback on that, okay? So authenticity reigns supreme always, and truth is what is prevalent to us all today. So, we got a good episode. We got a really good episode. We're going to dive deep in. And as always, you know how we get here, man. So before we get into it, go ahead and roll up, grab you something to drink, sit tight, get comfortable, relax, and, sit back as we talk some real shit. And what I want to talk about in this episode is criticism. And what it really drives to, be in life. So, let's talk about it. Criticism is it's the debunker, I feel as though is that it plays two ways. It plays in two ways. You have constructive criticism and then you just have criticism. So, on one end, constructive criticism is more polite. It's like the slightly mild aggressive, politeness though, where criticism is just overtly aggressive, because where one's opinion stretches to, surpass over another in a means to critique their energy and what it is to do, what it is pertaining to that person and how their energy is constructed. So, in that way, criticism can be very, very intrusive, and it can invade heavily. It can invade heavily upon somebody else and what they have going on and what they're doing. Whereas though with constructive criticism, that's a little bit different. It's just like I said, it's just polite. It's just mildly aggressively polite. It's just like, it's not as intrusive. And it simply literally just speaks more to the energy of the person who's back behind the creation of, a creative idea, or, in process or in flow with a creative energy of theirs. So when you are having constructive criticism, you're really looking out for one's best interest. You yourself, you don't play so much over a person's ideas, or you don't play so much over to throw them out the seat of their creativity and their energy. Just simply chiming in to even add in a way to what may be missing. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with somebody simply seeing what may be missing within the idea that's being manifested out externally in any sort of fucking way that may be. So where one is driving to help another in a way with filling in the gaps where they may, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think we didn't get to a point where criticism, it's more or less of the constructive criticism, but more of criticism, to where that allows a person to just implicate as though they're being constructive in their criticism, but instead really just using it as a way, as a means to just judge, as a means to spew ridicule and demonate another for an ideology or an idea they have in play, to want to storm right in on and make happen for themselves. And where others will try to pull one from their own idea by simply telling them that can't work, or you should try more at this, or if you want to gain more attention, you should do it this way. Where that type of criticism is not criticism that is on the end of thinking of the other person, but instead trying to bring them down and have them look to their own ideas as less fortunate. Where we all respect the point of views of one another, we should respect the point of views, because everybody has a POV. Everybody has, their own angle of what is seen from their position. And what you see and what you happen to, grasp is a perception of thought. So your perception of thought is many of the perception of thoughts of so many others. So it's nothing wrong with you having a point of view. There's nothing wrong with that. But where you stand, your point of view stands on the other side of another person's point of view, and it's what factors is that at the end of the day, the point of view of yours is not to conflict and jump its way over to the other side of somebody else's point of view. Just simply to express your point of view and leave it at that. Nothing else more. But that's not at all what happens when someone uses criticism to not, respect another person's ideas and choices, when instead to make them feel as though don't do it that way, do it my way. My way is better, and you can probably get a lot further if you do it my way, which drives a lot of fucking entitlement, if you ask me. My nigga, that's a lot of fucking entitlement. For you to want to be somebody who damn near tries to tell somebody else or drive across your point to derail the point of that person's own view stance. That's their own fucking view stance. So what they see and what they believe is number one, most definitely, indefinitely. It can't be, and it shouldn't be taken out of context to have that take a backseat to where they have to move into your seat of ideology or ideals, because you seem to feel as though I can overpower and over differentiate one's intellect and enlightenment and their source of play out that rounds around what a person happens to want to manifest from the energy that they hold from within. That is where you yourself have to realize that when criticism drives across the line and makes its way into your viewpoint, that is no longer criticism. It's no longer, a person's wanting to reflect their viewpoint with you, but instead they're intruding. They're trying to debunk your entire perception that you hold. And that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Criticism is really, really overlooked in a way, because I feel like it doesn't get a fair shake, because nobody likes to be critiqued. Nobody likes fucking criticism. And I'm big with this. I was somebody who, I'm a funny individual. I'm naturally funny, and I like to make people laugh in any way I can. If I'm doing it on purpose, accidentally, I just want to see you smile. I want to see you laugh. I get off on that. I get off on just being a joyful presence to somebody else in some sort of way. And when I'm driving at really trying to make somebody laugh, or let's say I'm in the process of creating, and it's the creation of my perception and my thought is wanting to be funny. And where I'm driving to want to be funny, I may come across where I may need, maybe some insight, maybe just a little bit of feedback, just to see if this is actually funny enough. Am I really funny? Am I really gonna, get somebody to really laugh and be encased in the joy that I bring? And it's just that shit is like a very, very, that's a sour pill when you don't feel confident, which is really important, that you must always have, to see that you gotta really know that you don't need somebody else's, you don't need somebody else's view stance. You don't need another view stance of someone else to, make you seem as though you're accurate within what you are prescribing to do, or prescribing to perform, give, show, express. So, I was somebody who, I would go to my brother a lot. I was somebody who would exchange my viewpoints with him in a way where I was like, let me just see what your view stands from. Let me see what you think about this. And, Lord behold, it was, just that. It was just ridicule, oh, you shouldn't do that. Maybe, that's not funny. You shouldn't do that. No, don't do that. I don't think nobody gonna laugh at that. Maybe you should change that. Do this instead. And it's like, that's not at all what a person should want to hear when you are the one to express this. You are the one to reveal this, not somebody fucking else. It's not up to them. It's really up to you. You can't fucking sit here and just throw yourself in somebody else's lap all the fucking time and hope they do right with you. And fucking hope that the arms that's cradling me, they gonna fucking be soft. They gonna treat me right. They gonna see that I'm tender-headed. Hopefully, they see that you're tender-headed. Because we're all soft in some sort of way. We all want to be treated with care and treated with likeness and treated abundantly, which we are. So don't get discouraged by, having people critique you and, having criticism and play. Because criticism, like I said, it's not the enemy, it's just misunderstood. A lot of individuals think that they can just use criticism as a way or as a means to really project their opinions and be, that projection of manner that shows that, I'm just thinking about you when I say this, or I'm just coming to you and letting you know that such and such is not doing so well. Maybe you should try to do this instead. It'll probably work out better for you. What the fuck do you know? You don't know shit. You don't. And nobody knows shit. Nobody can tell nobody what to fucking do. They can't. You're no better than me. You're no better than me. It don't matter what the fuck you have. You can never equate that to me and try to, criticize me for not having more than you. And a criticism is, something heavy to that effect as well, where most will just try to criticize and cast you out just for simply not having enough or more than what another person has, which is another sour pill that we come to happen to swallow. So the huge thing is to look at criticism as not the enemy, but just look at it as though it's about using it and knowing how far you take it and how far you go with it, to know that you're not intrusive with your criticism. You're not trying to bring somebody down, but instead you're just trying to fill in gaps where you see. Respectfully. And know that I'm not pushing. If you allow me, you allow me. If you don't, then I won't. And it's just that easy. As we bring this to a close, I just want to give gratitude to you and all those out there that are not criticizing as much in a negative way. Okay? But look, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for stopping by to another episode of the Tru Chronicles. Okay? I'm your host, Dre the Truth. All right? Look, I want you to stay in bliss, okay? I want you to stay mindful and let peace find you always, okay? Don't leave. We got the instrumental of the day coming up, all right? So sit back, chill, relax, and hang out with your boy as we close this bitch out, all right? I want you to stay good, okay? And I will see you in the very, very next episode. 1.